So getting back to the whole money situation, at the end of the day, when I'm dating you, I want to know what you have in your bank account. I want to know, what you're going to provide me with. And if you can't meet material needs of my life, then I'm Xing you off the list. And that's the way a lot of singles are thinking before they take the dive into getting married. So how important is money in a relationship?
Well, it's hard for me to totally comment on the dating part because we were high school sweethearts. So at that time I had like loads of money because I was living with my parents. So but I mean, once we got married, I mean, we had our hardships with money, and I hate to say it, when I was broke single, it was much better to be with somebody that we learned how to work together and get the job done. So
when you look at many black families today, there's a financial hardship. You have single mothers running households by themselves, taking care of the bills, putting food on the table. And so all the responsibility has been put on them. So when they make the decision to get married, they want to know that there's security that comes along with that man, a form of predictability that comes along with him in financial stability. I mean, is that unrealistic to ask for, or are you simply a gold digger if you want that man to have some type of financial...
It depends on the level.
It's a difference between wanting to like look for somebody who you two are equal and we're making money and it's helping each other, or he's supposed to take care of me.
Right.
That's different.
Because in the black family today, to be honest, we've never really had, especially since the 70s, the father as the breadwinner and the stay-at-home mom. And I know a lot of females at this point want to live that life, but it's not reality at this point, and you need to accept that. So don't get upset with your man when he can't do that for you. You're going to have to work, sweetie.
But it is a reality. We are seeing more college-educated women who have their own money and who are having the expectations of somebody to either make more money with than they do, or either an equal amount. Because I think women have gotten to the place now where they don't want to take care of men anymore. But in terms of the marriage, not having enough money definitely creates a strain on the marriage. When your kid has to eat and you have to make a decision between whether or not your lights are going to be on or your family is going to eat, and you got to figure out where this pool of money is going to come from, it definitely creates a strain. I know that in the beginning, me and my husband started out broke, and we built up. We built up. But I can't say that even when you get to the place where you've built up, that everything becomes, ideal in that situation, because the problems become more expensive. Now it's like, what summer camp is our daughter going to go to? Where you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so the conflicts are still there, but money is always at the bottom. At the end of the day, it's how much did it cost. Even when I go to ask my husband just a simple question, I can just be talking to my husband about something, and instead of him even hearing what I'm saying, just to be talking about whatever,
how much is
the bottom line is
what
does it cost?
I know I'm not answering the question directly, but I think there's two things to consider when looking at a potential spouse, a mate. One is their work ethic. Will they work? And number two is how they handle adversity. I'm a recruiter. That's what I've done for a living for a number of years, and I'm seeing more people unemployed now, even credentialed, even with experience. And these people are losing their jobs as well. How does this person handle adversity? Because there's a good possibility you may lose your job. And do you have the patience, the ability to handle it, not crack, not go and withdraw and remove yourself from your relationship? Because there's some hard realities right now that people are facing. It's not how much money you make, but what happens if that money stops? And are you willing to do some other things to make money to provide for your family?
And are you both willing to do it?
Absolutely. Well, no, I'm saying either way.
Right. I think
exactly.
I think women now, like he was saying, they want to be taken care of, but you have to both look at, like you're saying with your relationship, you didn't say, well, what are you going to do? Go work 2 jobs and I get to stay home. And people think now that it's supposed to be all on the man. I want to be taken care of. And that's not the situation.
Listen, let me ask this question, because I get this by singles repeatedly. Let's talk about parenthood for a second within your marriage. Now, it's been said that the best gift that you can ever give your children is your marriage, because the example that you provide will lay the foundation for what they could have in their future. And so a lot of us come from broken families. We've only known one parent of the two. And so the question is, should you stay together for the kids if the relationship goes awry?
No.
I say no.
Because they see you fighting. I've seen people in my family where you can tell that as soon as the kids graduate, they're going to get a divorce. The kids see you fighting. You think you're hiding it, but kids have that sense. They know when there's negativity. I'm a teacher, and I see a lot of my kids where they come and they talk about mom and dad are fighting. And so they know. You think you're hiding it, but your kids see that. So I would say if it's done, let it be done, but do it in a way where you can be together for the kids as far as outside of the marriage.
Now, Carmen, you actually wrote a children's book for kids, right? What type of experiences have you had on your tour dealing with the children that you're actually doing your readings for?
Well, most of the schools that I attend are urban schools. And so you get kids, and this particular book is about, you know, keeping the genre of jazz music alive and, you know, having kids more interactive with music. Because of the whole hip-hop culture, you know, the kids, to me, are just kind of just getting one-sided. But I do, just in teaching children, you know, up until the point where I just pulled out and started writing the books, like she said, you kind of get from the children what their homes are like. What was the question?
Basically, what type of reactions or what type of experiences are these children dealing with in their households?
Oh, right. Just, you know, I mean, the same, you know, the single parent homes, the abuse going on in homes, the children, moms not being able to sit down and spend time with their children. It's just a whole influx. And I have to be honest and say this, and this might be a little weird, but I have to say that when I had my children and I started thinking about parenting, I actually used more white people as a model than I did in my own community.
So the question, I guess, is parenting just for white folks?
Wow.
Wow, you use a white model.
And it came to me as we were talking about this, I actually used white parents as my model for parenting my children, because there was so much dysfunction going on around me that for what I wanted and what I felt like my children needed, I looked outside of my race to get that.
What were some of the cultural differences that you saw in parenting?
Just time spent with your children. I know that in my family that the way we showed love was you give the child whatever they want if you can. I mean, I might have had on a fur coat at 10 years old, but my parents weren't always in the house. So I had the stuff, but I didn't have time. So just in terms of sitting down reading to your child, I remember one of my relatives saw me reading to my belly, which is what I got from a white person.
Wow.
And they called me white, you know, or just being able to speak to your children properly and with proper English.
And that's sort of
you're considered white. So a lot of my models what I didn't want to, and now that I'm older, I do go back to my family. I do want my children to be around the drunk uncles, because there's some, there's some of that I think that they can learn from, because my drunk uncles are just as brilliant as some of these other people that I modeled after. But
for all those singles that are now watching this show, we're running out of time. If you had a closing remark in terms of what they could gain from our own cultural experiences that they can bring into their marriage, what would that be? We'll just start with Lee and work our way all the way down.
I think the key to a successful relationship at any level is being friends, which requires communication. I think when you're open and you're honest and you communicate, that is the foundation for a successful relationship.
Carmen?
As you're changing, continue to respect your mate. Love, just keep loving it, keep truth in it. And keep God in it. You cannot leave God out of your relationship.
Yeah, I have to say, I can't stress communication and friendship enough. Like, that's what is the strength, and having God in your relationship is one of the best things that you can have in the relationship. But and you know, especially on the dating thing, preventative maintenance.
And I would just say, when you're dating, it's not a switch that turns off and on. If you are really looking to get married, then you need to ask certain questions and find out what you really want in this person. If there are some red flags, then you need to leave. That person's not going to change.
Excellent advice. Listen, I just want to thank you all for coming on the show.
you.
I think that our viewers got a lot out of this particular series. Listen, continue to go to our website, find out more about our guests and what they're doing. Many of them are authors and speakers. They've written books. Listen, continue to tune in for another great show next week. Take care.